Hi, beautiful people. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing well and staying warm. I am so behind with everything that is going on, but I had to share my opinion about Fancy Maselli and the post she made about BECCA scoops. So let's get straight into it.
Hey guys, it's Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network. And recently, the Morbid panel has taken to attacking me on a regular basis. And they're all very upset because I called them out about their non vigil, and that they were rude and hateful and bullying at the non-vigil, that they were only there to cause chaos and to disrupt Gypsy's book signing, which they proved. And so they are very angry with me. And now Morbid has posed the question, what has Fancy done for this case that I couldn't have done? Are you serious? Did you fall down and smack your little head on the pavement, Morbid?
Is she still so pressed about what went down in Louisiana? Again, my recollection was that Fancy was planning a protest slash vigil, and when it was brought up or brought to Morbid's attention, he asked who was willing to go down, and Pink Pony said that she would go and live stream. And then later on, Morbid did say that he could fundraise to help people with gas, and if they also want to make signs, they could. But that was my understanding. It seems as though Fancy is the one that has the little head because she cannot seem to comprehend or understand much.
I am the only reason that you're relevant at all. Nina, Becca, all of you, at least in the game of Gypsy Rose. Now, you might be relevant in all other things all by your damn selves, but if you're relevant here, it's because I made you relevant. And you don't believe me? Well, that's really funny. Because right before your non vigil, Becca reached out to me. She wanted help. Remember, she said it all on your podcast, on one of your 9-hour lives where you just rant and trash people.
What in the world? And she was being serious, saying that she made Morbid and Nina relevant? That is a joke. And isn't she the one that goes off on rants and trashes people on her own channel? Because that is exactly the reason I stopped watching her lives. Because she couldn't control herself. And what sealed it for me was when she came after down the rabbit hole at bedtime for talking about how she was treating people who was donating to her. And she even came after Toddy One Skip later on down the line about that same thing. What in the world?
Yeah, she made a big old statement about how she needed help, my help even, putting together a whole thing that she was going to do a video on Christy Blanchard. Now, what you may not know, and she didn't want me to tell anybody, was that she offered me $200 to do so. Why? Because I'm the only one that has that information. You don't have it. You didn't have a personal relationship with her. You didn't see all the evidence, the medical records, deal with these people for almost 3 years. You have not been bullied and trashed by them for the last 7 for trying to tell the truth. And in my opinion, allegedly, for entertainment and educational purposes only and to bully no one, I do believe that you and Nina are working together with Lifetime. And I will continue to say that. And you can continue to call me insane. But what I do have is proof that Becca offered to pay me to help her out with that video. You know, the video that didn't get produced before Christmas. You know why? Because without me, Becca ain't got shit.
Wow, Fancy. I didn't think you could go any lower. I did watch the live where Becca asked people that was in the chat if they had information about Christy, where she thought that she would add into a video that she was going to have out just before Christmas. And I do remember somebody saying that they were going to look to help out Becca Scoops and that she had the time to do so. But I could be absolutely wrong. Where is all this resentment coming from, Fancy? It sounds a lot like you're just jealous.
Let me show you. Alrighty, so these are emails between me and Becca. And the first one here, you'll have to pause to read and zoom in since it's a little small. But basically, we talked on the phone after she offered me the $200. We sat and we talked, and I discussed with her what we would be doing and what exactly she was looking for. So first she says, "Thanks for a great conversation. I really enjoyed speaking with you. After giving this much thought, I think it might be easier for you to send me all the text emails surrounding Christy and Gypsy, and I can sort them out myself." Oh, I'm sure you think you can, BECCA. I'm sure. But see, the thing is that's worth a whole hell of a lot more than $200, and it sure as shit wasn't what we originally talked about.
She said they discussed what we, meaning them. Did Fancy think that this was going to be a collaboration between the two of them? Because me personally, I've never seen Becca Scoops collab with anyone unless she does an interview with somebody else. She has always said that she does everything with her husband. So did Fancy not read the room when Becca said to her that she should just send her all the information and that she would sort through it? Wow. Secondly, the 200 Becca offered her, I see nothing wrong with that. And she's making it out to be so nefarious because Becca probably felt that she needed to pay her for the information since Fancy is always basically pleading poverty. Because doesn't Fancy have all that information up on her Patreon?
Then I can ask you to clarify these things as I dive into the documents. Once I get the text, emails, etc., I will send you the $100 because she told me she'd send me $100 beforehand and $100 after with the project was finished. Just give me your details of where I could send the money. After the video airs, I will send you an additional $100. This should be done before Christmas. Thanks again, Fancy, BECCA. So I wrote her back. And I told her, sounds good. I have a lot to pull together. I will work on this week and get you what you need. And I started thinking about it. And that's why I had not sent it back to her, because I was waiting till after all of the vigil and everything died down. And I wanted to talk with her about it because there was no way I was just going to hand over all of my text messages and emails between me and Gypsy and me and Christy to her.
Sorry, guys. But Fancy stated how Becca was going to pay her. She said $100 when she sends the information, and then another 100 when the project is done. And it seems Fancy was okay with that. But why did Fancy say that that is not what they agreed upon?
Why would I do that? That wouldn't be good for me, nor for the truth of the story, because you're looking at things you don't even understand what we were talking about half the time. But hey, whatever. So then the vigil happened, and I wrote her originally because I was upset that they were saying shit about me on the panel when I left. But Becca hadn't said anything yet. She wasn't on panel. She had left. And then she decided she was going to come back to trash me. And this is what I wrote before she trashed me. And then I'll read what I wrote after she trashed me. So I said, well, this was a disappointing shit show. I was not saying the thing the chat said, I said. I stated I felt the fat shaming was uncalled for and I left. I said that I felt this should have been organized better, and if people were raising funds, then it should have gone to flyers and spreading awareness and not for just the 4 people's dinner. This was a travesty in my opinion, and Lifetime and Krusty got exactly what they wanted. I would never ever have supported anyone buying a ticket. If I'd known that, I would have advised 100% against that. So tonight was such a sad and missed opportunity, and now the yahoos have caused more dissension and shit for me. Lovely. I have made it very clear I don't do physical looks shaming thing. I don't agree with it. I didn't say anything I wouldn't say to Morbid's face then or now or any of the panel. But the chat is horrible, and they then came in and tried to start shit in my life. Like, why? I left, and I have a right to my opinions.
Fancy, Becca did not trash you. She spoke up when it came to the attention how you chose to leave Morbid's panel and go onto your panel and bitch about what could have been done on your channel. Again, Becca didn't trash you. She just said how she feels. And that's just my opinion. I know Becca can speak for herself. And as far as the physical look shaming thing, stop lying.
So that was my original thing, writing back to her. I wasn't pulling out yet. I still wanted to discuss it with her. I still thought maybe we could salvage this and somehow make it work properly. No. Then BECCA decides to double down, come back on the panel, and trash me. So this is the next email that I sent her. I said, well, I wrote that to you before I saw what you said to me about me. Okay. I stated it was sad that this didn't get planned well, and it didn't. No, I was not asked to help, by the way, by people saying he let Morbid do this, so it's not about you. I seriously am beyond hurt, and you showed who you were tonight. My reason for going live started off with being frustrated with the body shaming of Brie. It was unbecoming and made this look like an effort to bully. So if that's what you're all about, then go do that. I will not be helping out with whatever else you have going on. You went off what people were saying I said, and so now I'm done.
I have one question. Why is Fancy holding BECCA to a certain standard? And this is not the first person that I've seen do this. Without a Crystal Ball also did this. They actually had a whole discussion on how they feel BECCA shouldn't be on this panel. What expectations do they have of BECCA? Why are they holding her to a certain standard? That is my question.
So I was done, and I'm done with this crew and have been for quite some time now. If you've noticed, I haven't been over there very much. The Vigil was one of my first appearances in a long time because I don't agree with the things that these people are doing. I don't agree with how they treat people. I don't agree with how they harass and stalk and bully people. None of this is content that should be accepted. None of this is relevant content at all to this case.
But it's A-okay for you to do.
My goal has always been for truth and honesty in this case. My goal has always been to expose the lies and expose how this all went down, regardless of what side I was ever on. Because I could absolutely tell something was wrong from the very beginning. I just didn't know what yet. And that's why I did research. See, something that none of you bothered to do. You waited until I did it all for you. And then you stole my research and just started making content with it without really crediting anybody that you got it from.
So you did all the research. That's funny. Didn't you say Titania actually learned about the microdeletion? What about all your other partners that found so much more information that you, Fancy, have kicked to the curb?
But hey, I mean, whatever. She's got a source, she says, and it's a pretty damn good source. So what do you need me for? I don't think you need me for anything if you have what you have. But hey, I mean, I am the only one that can roast Christy the way that anybody could roast Christy because, well, I have those conversations and you don't. So you have no right to speak on me or what I know or don't know. So here's the deal. I am going to continue doing what I do. That's research and evidence and running down the lies and putting a lid on all of this because I think after 8 years, I finally can.
Thank God, and I hope that you stand to your word.
See, good things take time. I wasn't lazy. I didn't blow hard because I didn't know what I was doing. I simply knew I wasn't ready yet, but I am now. So, 2025, we got some work to do. We got books to write. We have a documentary series to put out. And you all have bullying and gossip, I guess. So, hey, you've got the market cornered on that. Why don't you guys stick to that? And I'll stick to the facts.
You know what struck me is that there was only one email that she read from BECCA, and she didn't discuss what the original amount was supposed to be. And this solidified to me how unprofessional Fancy is by exposing emails, even if it was just one email. I personally think that Fancy needs to just take a step back. She needs to reflect, maybe take some downtime. Because between her and a new BFF without a crystal ball that is gatekeeping the peaches to now Fancy gatekeeping information, good luck to them. Isn't it better to have more eyes than a select few in a situation like this? Shouldn't everybody be working together? Besides, isn't everyone in this anti-gypsy circle out for the same thing, and that is to get justice for Dee Dee? Sometimes I truly question my own sanity. I do not see anything wrong with BECCA offering Fancy $200, or maybe she's just butthurt that she never got around to getting the $200. But anyway, that's my opinion about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. BECCA Scoop's channel, as I said, will be listed down in the description box. Have a wonderful, safe, and warm rest of your day and week. Please be safe out there, be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.